My name is Brendan. Hopefully no one spills anything on it. Where should I look? Just say you?
He already knows.
My name is Brendan. I have been DJing for 3.5 years. But I've been producing music for quite some time. I started in 2016. I live here in Boston, born and raised. Yeah, stoked to be here. Thanks for having me. When I first started making music, it was all like hip hop and lo-fi. I think I'm heavily influenced by like rap and R&B, but over the years as I continue to make music, I've just leaned more and more into dance music and house music specifically, heavily influenced by like funky bass lines and disco, UK garage, a lot of that sound. I really enjoy that kind of that feel good, funky, groovy sound. Yeah, I'd say that's probably my style if I had to say. Yeah. What inspired me to start DJing? If I'm being completely honest, I was in kind of a pickle between jobs a couple of years ago and I had no other choice really. And I was just kind of evaluating like what kind of skill sets I had and what I could learn and pick up. I had a old DDJ SR2 that my friend Ollie gave me in college, and I just like sat on it for like a couple of years. I never really planned on being a DJ, but yeah, I just busted it out and I started messing around. I downloaded Serato Lite, I think, at the time, and I just started ripping music off YouTube, and I just taught myself and watched some YouTube videos. And my good friend Peter, or Pete Summers, also helped me and taught me how to just like the basics of DJing. But yeah, I just like locked myself in my room basically for like a month or 2 months and just taught myself like the basics of DJing, just DJing every day in my room. Eventually I applied for a position at a private events company, so doing like weddings and formals. And so yeah, that's how I kind of got my foot in the door with them. They kind of took a chance on me and I built up my experience from there and eventually moved into outside of private events. So yeah, that's kind of how I started. What keeps the spark alive today is definitely, I think, being able to play a lot of the music that I like to play and love to play. As any good DJ will know, right? Like, you gotta cater to your crowd, but I think it's awesome when you get to play stuff that you want to play and music that also caters to your crowd at the same time. So being able to play events that kind of align with my vision and my style are much more, I guess, fulfilling than like something that is kind of outside of that lane. Yeah, I think doing that and like planning my own events is also super exciting as well, so yeah. Genre-wise, it's definitely like UK garage, disco, funk, French house, future funk, and I guess like a lot of like shiny synths and things like that. So yeah, just like funky, groovy, like feel good music. I think that's kind of the lane that I've gone down. Also a lot of like euphoric kind of like progressive house and dance music that is coming out nowadays as well. So I've been messing around a lot with that kind of genre too. I would say my sets are always like an ebb and flow of energy, but I want my crowd to always feel better leaving the show than coming in. So just like feel good shit, you know? Yeah. Can I swear? All right, cool. Big influence is Disclosure, like that kind of sound. Big fan of like K Tronada, especially like his older stuff as well. I think on like the hip hop side as well, like a lot of like Flamingosis. He makes a lot of like instrumental like hip hop that has influenced a lot of like that funky kind of aspect that I really enjoy in house music. There's Never Dull and like Ja Funk. Like I'm probably missing a bunch of other people. There's a bunch of crazy good like producers that are on the up and up today. When people ask me that, I think a lot about weddings in a weird way. Obviously, I don't do a lot of weddings now, but I think weddings gave me like a really solid foundation for what it means to read the crowd, especially in like a very open format kind of setting as a wedding is. Like you really need to be versatile in terms of like what kind of genres that you're able to play, what kind of edits you're able to play, and just being comfortable within like every BPM range. I think that gave me like a really solid foundation. Now, you know, obviously playing more like house music and EDM and breaks and jungle and UKG and things like that, I guess the BPM range is more particular than like true like open format, but having open format experience, I think, has given me a really solid foundation to be comfortable in like whatever situation or whatever genre that I'm playing, even if it is within EDM. Well, if you play stuff and you see people not vibing with it, like play something else, bro. It's really kind of that simple, right? It's like if you've been pounding the crowd with like house music for like the past half hour, and you know the first 15 minutes was, you know, you see a lot of hands up in the air and people are moving and grooving, and you know the next 10 minutes you keep with that same kind of vibe, and you know you see a little bit less energy. Maybe you need to refresh the crowd a little bit, try something else, you know, try a different genre or a different artist that they might be familiar with, something they can maybe sing along with. You can keep it within the same genre, but maybe change one aspect of it. If it's house music, maybe try a different type of house music, or something popular where people can sing over it, or like a relatable sample or something, just something different to kind of like change the energy, even if you're not playing like completely open format, going from like house music down to like moombahton or, you know, trap or hip hop or throwbacks or pop or whatever. Does the crowd look like they're having fun? Not right now? Oh, like just try something else, you know? And like if they like that, then continue to feed off that energy. So yeah. I think a big part for me is putting out the most energy and the best energy that you can for your crowd, regardless if there's like 10 people or like 3,000 people. Basically, whenever I play like a live show, I want to be having the most fun. I want to be like jumping around and enjoying the music, and at the end of the day, like you get to be paid to play music, and like that's really freaking cool. Yeah, it's like when I play sets that I prepare for, and you know, I'm really lucky to have those opportunities to play, like I want to bring everything that I can. And I think bringing good energy, if the crowd sees that you're having fun up there, they're gonna have fun. You know, if you're just like DJing and just doing this like the whole night, like, you know, your crowd's probably not gonna reciprocate that kind of energy the same way that you would if you are, you know, having a blast and jumping around and just like truly enjoying yourself. So I think that's a big thing for me, is to like always bring energy and positivity to every set. Yeah, I think it just started as like a silly idea with Pete to like just like make food and like cook in the kitchen and like play some music while we were doing it. And I've had this idea for like many years. I've just never done it. So that's just kind of how it started. I had a really like shitty camera, and I was just like, yeah, fuck it, like let's just, you know, try it. We did it. There was like a lot of good reception on social media for it, so that kind of encouraged us to push it a little bit further. So expanded from my kitchen into like, you know, different venues. And I think the whole idea is to play music or house music and celebrate like the electronic music scene here in Boston and beyond by like throwing like niche kind of like pop-up parties in unfamiliar spaces. So to provide things like outside of the club where people can still like have a good time and meet up, at the same time like we get to film content out of it as well, which is huge. That's kind of where it like all started. I just wanted to film more stuff, and by filming more stuff, the byproduct of that was like I started planning events. So now it's just kind of snowballed into this thing where I'm planning a lot more events and I have more experience, you know, filming different sets and things like that. So yeah, it's become a cool thing, and yeah, I'm happy with where it's at and excited to see where it will go. That too comes with its own stresses, but so is life. Yeah, I think a big thing is for me to just like continue pushing my own production, making remixes and originals and things like that. and also trying my best to stay consistent with giving groove, and also expanding into different types of content as well, whether it's like more like lifestyle things or vlogging things, or like tutorials on like production, or just like different like DJ sets as well, where I can play music that isn't house music. Yeah, that'd be cool. Eventually it would be great to like play like larger and larger shows, travel more outside of the state as well. But those things will come with time, and I'm a strong believer of like you're exactly where you're supposed to be right now. So those things will come, the pieces will fall into place, and yeah, I'm just enjoying the journey as it is right now. So.
Bread.Man, I believe in you and your journey, and you're going to do so well.
Thanks, bro.
Thank
I
you so
appreciate
much
it. Yeah.
for the interview, and can't wait to hear your set.
All right, cool. Thank you. Appreciate it.